Everybody knows about Pirate Software and all this Pirate Software situation. At least everybody who clicked on this video knows about the whole stop killing games and all of that, and how he was wrong and he doubled, tripled, quadrupled, quintupled down. And everybody absolutely hates him. But some people take it a little bit too far. Apparently Pirate Software got swatted. Let's check out this whole stupid situation, because like, we might not like Pirate Software around here, but we don't wish harm upon them. That's fucking retarded. And these people, they need to be pushed out of the spaces online. If they're actually crashing out and, like, wishing death upon people, we gotta get them out. This ain't no place for that kind of garbage.
We have a lot to talk about in this video, from another perfect example of Pirate Software yet again lying to Ross, to Pirate Software putting out some more interesting tweets, as well as Pirate addressing this mass review bomb comment that he had talked about in his stream today, to the thing that we're going to be talking about first, because I think this is by far the most serious. Pirate Software just got swatted. And right before we jump into that, this channel has been blowing up, talking about all the drama from this week. I've been doing daily uploads. If you're new here,
Bro, like, all of the daily drama channels, I think, are exploding right now. Even I'm getting more viewership than I've ever gotten before because of drama. And I love it. I love all the drama that keeps happening. We keep making fun of morons over here. We keep making fun of all the retards. If you like to see me making fun of retards, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications.
Consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. It allows me to
also subscribe to this guy. I've got him linked down there in the description. This guy is absolutely fucking based.
To make content for you guys and do it as quickly as I am. And for all of you that have subscribed over the past week and liked videos, thank you so much. More on that at the end of the video. But now let's jump into Pirate Software getting swatted. Shout out to my Discord member Zoyboy. He's the one that clipped this from today's stream for Pirate Software. This is where we're going to be covering most of what we have before we go to Twitter. But this is kind of where he introduces him getting swatted.
I think the most interesting thing that came out of it is so many different developers actually reached out and were pissed off at me for leaving off-brand. Because they're like, the trolls win and now they know that they can like cyberbully people into losing their jobs and shit. And I was like, they already could do that. Like that's how they tried to kill me on Tuesday. So yeah.
We tried to, okay, Pirate Software, I was on your side until you blamed all of us for something that one person did. All right, what the fuck? I felt sorry for him. Now I don't.
I mean, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I know you have, like, this big grandstanding narrative that you have to fit to, and oh, shit, now they know that they have blood in the water. They swatted me on Tuesday. I don't give a shit what you think. I'm out, dude. Enjoy your initiative. Have fun. I hope the government listens to you, and that they give you what you want instead of what you actually asked for. Which
this guy, what the fuck, man? He just keeps getting worse. I came in here gonna defend him. But I can't defend that. Like, I don't defend the people who, like, swatted the guy, but don't blame us all for that. That's fucking retarded. This dude is an actual massive fucking retard. Holy shit.
probably isn't going to happen. In the middle of the stream, about 9 a.m., I got a bunch of phone calls to my phone. They left a bunch of voicemails of shit saying, your time has come, in like a giant screeching voice, and then...
Yeah, those aren't people that are on our side. Those are people that are just looking for something to attach themselves to so that they can make everything chaotic. They're chaotic. Chaotic evil. They're not part of the movement. They're just people looking for an excuse to do something terrible to somebody.
We got swatted. But at the same time, it's like, I don't give a fuck about your initiative because your people are unhinged. And I really...
What the fuck, dude? Okay, well, you know what? Don't swat the guy, but like, you're blaming the wrong people here, man. You're blaming the wrong people.
Realize that's not everybody that's part of that, but I don't give a shit, dude. Like, I'm out. Have
It's not everybody that's doing it. It's just one guy, but I don't give a shit. I'm gonna blame you all anyway. Fucking retarded. Holy shit.
Fun. Good luck.
So that's a pretty big deal. So just in case some people don't understand, swatting, that is when somebody calls in a threat. So apparently like either a hostage situation that somebody's killed somebody.
I got swatted by one guy. Fuck your entire movement and all of you people. That's a straight up Hassan take. That's a Hassan Piker take right there.
and they give the address typically of a content creator, usually a live streamer. This will cause the local police department to essentially send in a legitimate SWAT team to clear the place and assess the threat that does not exist. Swatting, in worst case scenarios, will lead to somebody dying. And this swatting that Pirate Software went through genuinely could have ended up with him dying. Like, that is a real thing. It has happened before. And just so we're covering our bases, like here, I've talked shit about Pirate. I don't agree with his point of views. A lot of people that show up to watch these videos don't agree with those point of views. They think he is insufferable, narcissistic, nepo baby. He even goes through a list in this video. To go the extra mile and have a SWAT team show up to somebody's home, like Pirate's, is not okay. Whoever did that, you are legitimately a vile human being. And at this point, if
and they're not part of the movement, they probably aren't even on our side with it, and just don't like Pirate Software because they're insane. They get like, people get fixated on stuff like this, on people like this, where they're like, oh, everybody hates Pirate Software, so I'm gonna hate Pirate Software. Oh, I really hate Pirate Software. Oh, I really, really hate Pirate Software. Oh, I'm gonna destroy his life and everything that he loves. Like, there are people like that out there, and they don't even know about the movement, really. They know it's happening, but that's completely left their brains, and all they can think about is ruining the life of Pirate Software.
If Pirate doesn't want to talk about the initiative ever again, I don't blame the guy. He did tweet about it last night, which was after the swatting, so it seems like he will continue.
I'm done talking about the initiative. You guys have your initiative. I'm done talking about it. We're not going to talk about it anymore because I got swatted. Oh, wait, hold on. One more thing. I guarantee you he's not done. He's going to keep talking about it. He's going to keep on, keeping on. And he's just going to make himself look like a bigger and bigger idiot.
Continue to chat about it, which we'll talk about, but I don't blame him. If you're going to get death threats, yeah, he shouldn't talk about it. If he's fearful for his life because somebody, and again, it's not saying everybody, I'm not saying everybody is doing this, but if somebody, because of this drama, ended up sending a SWAT team to his home, that gives, for me, anybody the right to step away from any situation. I'm not going to hold it.
Yeah. Pirate Software is wrong about everything. He's a nepo baby, so I'm going to attempt to murder him. Fucking crazy, dude. That leap is insane.
Hold it against him for never talking about this movement ever again. I will hold it against him if he does talk about it and he misrepresents it or lies about it or just has a terrible opinion that I feel like I can, talk about. And he's going to...
Yeah, or, says that he's done talking about it and then keeps talking about it. Like, come on, man.
Talk about it too, but he was receiving tons of death threats as well. None of that's okay. Sending death threats to somebody because they disagree with you about video game preservation, like, just think about that. Say that out loud. That is insane. That is not okay. I don't care if people like show up on my videos or show up on his and are like, hey, you got doo-doo opinions, you suck, you're lame, plus ratio, lick my balls. Like, I don't care about that stuff.
Same.
That is water off a duck's back. You just have to learn to roll with those punches, but to go the next step and to send death threats and to legitimately act on your anger.
That's not even the next step. That's like 10 steps. There are like 9 things that you could do before you get to the swatting. To take that leap is fucking insane, and you deserve to be locked in a box forever. For multiple forevers.
Anger by physically sending police to somebody's home, not okay. I feel like that should just be common knowledge, but there's always going to be somebody that's going to try to pull something like this. And for anybody that's like, oh, so we're defending Pirate now. No, we're going to be talking about that for the rest of the video, but yeah, you should defend him on this point. It is not okay to swat anybody for any of these reasons that have come out, especially for him disagreeing with the Stop Killing Games initiative. Whether he's misrepresenting it or...
Even before we get to the swatting, anybody who's like leaving death threats or even like threats of harm or anything like that, get that shit out of here. We don't want none of that. We just like to make fun of retards. That's all we do.
Or not. Doesn't justify it. But now let's switch gears because I want to talk about proof that Pirate Software once again lied. And this time he was lying directly to Ross, the leader of the Stop Killing Games initiative. Now, admittedly, this is a bit of an oldie, but I didn't see anybody cover it. But this is from his original post that we had talked about. A couple other videos. I'll put the one that I talked about it in up above me. But it's this thread right here. Accursed Farms is replying back. That's Ross saying, I don't have much to add beyond what I said in my video, but saying I never took my videos down is false unless it was done by someone else who manages your channel. The stream where you read my reply and the one prior to that were absolutely deleted from your channel. And so Pirate responds back saying Twitch VODs auto-delete after 60 days. Any stream going over 12 hours of runtime on YouTube is auto-cut off and then deleted at 16 hours of runtime due to their shitty storage system. What you've proposed here is untrue and a deflection from my message. Accursed Farm says, no, I mean the gap of those 2 particular days in between weeks of videos that were not on your YouTube live stream. They were deleted a couple of days after posted. I guess the evidence is deleted now, but I imagine at least a few people could corroborate that. Pirate Software then goes on to show this. Here are all the videos from that time period. As you can see, they all cut off at 11:55, are missing, or show times of 20+ hours. When streaming over 16 hours, VODs will routine disappear or go into a broken state. He goes on to explain that when they go into that state, there's a black screen. You only see them for a 720p version if they have it. Any video set to 11:55 has deleted all content beyond it. So really hammering home, again, this is how VODs work on YouTube. Completely, I did not delete these. You need to understand. Cursed Farm says, I'm a bit skeptical, but I'll leave it to people who know more about this to say if that would cause a YouTube VOD to be deleted 3 to 5 days after being fully viewable.
And apparently people did find this to be completely fucking untrue from Pirate Software.
I distinctly remember the 2 days in question being gone with others being intact around it. Pirate again, this is a triple down now as shown here. This has been known for years about the YouTube VOD issue. And so in this thread, when Pirate initially responded to Accursed, some people started including this clip. And I went ahead and found the actual VOD on his channel just to show you guys, this is directly from it. Here at about 3:37:32, this is him openly admitting to deleting those VODs.
On top of it, I went through the Reddit for their initiative for that, and there were a number of posts in there that were people saying we should keep baiting him and attacking him because if we do that, he'll keep talking about it, and then more people will sign the initiative. They were planning that shit. And those threads are still there. They're still up. People are still talking about that shit on there. So instead of that, I just deleted all the VODs where we were talking about it.
Dude, fucking, like, all these people, all these insane leftist freaks, they can never take accountability, and they actually try and delete evidence and say that the evidence was never there and it's not their fault and they didn't delete it. But this is obvious.
I kept my videos up and I walked away. They can eat shit.
So you did lie. You did delete those VODs. And let me make it very clear. I'm not upset that he deleted the VODs. He gave reason. There was...
Yeah, he lied and, like, tried to defend himself so hard. Bro, do you really think that you're smarter than the internet? Because anything that exists, people will find it. Especially if there's this movement so hard against you, man. Like, they're combing through everything. There are people that are watching every single stream that you're doing, taking mental notes of everything, taking literal notes of everything. Thousands upon thousands of channels talking about you, bro. We ain't missing nothing.
There's a bunch of hate on him, people being viscous in the comments, like totally understandable. If you want to delete them, that's okay. My issue is that he said, what you've proposed here is untrue and a deflection from my message. He is so confidently wrong here and tries to make fun of and belittle Accursed Farms for saying what happened, for saying, yes, you deleted those VODs. You're saying no, and you suck for it. I'm actually smarter. Here's all the proof that you need to show that this is just something that happens. And I feel like with truly a near 100% certainty that he just forgot, that he just didn't realize or didn't remember that he deleted those VODs. If you want to think that he was doing this maliciously, that he was just like actively trying to deceive Ross here, you're fine to. I don't think he did. I think he forgot, and he just chose to triple down on acting like, yeah, no, for sure, they just delete normally. I didn't do that.
Yeah, I wonder what happened when people pointed it out to him. Like, hey, no, you're actually wrong. You did say that you deleted them. What's he got to say about that? Untrue? You made it up? Or talking about something else? I don't know.
And then on top of that, there is a screenshot, allegedly, I guess, because since I'm not on his Discord to confirm this, but this guy shows that Thor hopped on his Discord and then put this out on top of, their conversation with Ross saying that, no, I didn't delete them, saying he actually had no idea how VODs work. And here he is linking the thread. My brother in Christ, you were wrong about it. Thor is making fun of, on his public Discord, Ross for not knowing how VODs work, even though...
And I guarantee you that he's not going to correct it. He's just going to keep allowing his community to think that. And then anybody who's got to say anything against him will be banned from the Discord. Because they're double agents.
he was correct that Thor actually did delete those VODs. No wonder the internet is just completely through with this guy, because he will be so confidently wrong.
No, actually, no, I was telling the truth when I said I didn't delete them, because I didn't. I may have said it in that video that I deleted them, but it wasn't me. I actually told my friend to delete them. So yes, I technically didn't lie. I could see him saying some dumb shit like that.
Literally mocking the people that are saying the actual truth of the matter, and odds are he's not going to walk this back. But moving on from this, back to the clip that I was showing you guys earlier, he also talks about the mass review bombing of the off-brand games and gives us a bit more clarity as to what he was talking about when he said that.
You talk more about the review bombs? Some people are confused about what took place. Yeah, so basically people started going on social media and trying to say that the reason why I was against the SKG initiative is because I had a commanding stake or was making a lot of money off of Rivals of Either, which is a live service game that has microtransactions. In reality, I was paid minimum wage, federal minimum wage, to work on that game. But after they started doing that, people started to review bomb the game. They put negative reviews on it. However, Ludwig then put out a tweet saying it's really unfair that people are review bombing this game, and the developers do support the SKG initiative. Smart thing to do. Immediately, those review bombs turned into a positive review bomb as a result. But they were going after those games.
No, that is not what happened. I saw what happened. I watched the whole thing. We watched the whole thing. We watched everything as it was happening. What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Specifically because of me.
He's actually trying to form a narrative for his audience right now.
And using that as a reason to go after them.
I have actually, I just checked that I didn't close Microsoft Paint down last night, so I actually have the 4 that I showed on stream if you'd like them.
I mean, it's just 4. They'll be like, that was only 4. Like, I understand how the internet works. No matter what evidence is provided at this point, no one gives a shit.
I literally just went onto the reviews for Rather Laser 2, sorted by most recent and then negative, and it was like, in the top 10, these were just the first 4 I found in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, there's still more that are there. Some people didn't change the reviews and shit, and they directly call out me. And so, because of that, I had a meeting with Ludwig, and I was like, the best way to handle this is that I leave.
So let's start off. Let's give him a little bit of grace. Working minimum wage as the, strategic director of off-brand games. Good for him, honestly. But now, the review bomb. So they said there were a bunch of, negative reviews from Steam. From what I've heard from my comments just yesterday talking about all of this, and again, you can check out that video. I go fully in detail. It's completely timestamped so you guys can see the actual viewing of the negative reviews, that being literally nothing out of the ordinary, and like genuinely maybe 30 in total across all 3 games. He apparently says that those were switched to positive reviews, which, okay, great. You called this a massive review bomb. There are millions of people.
Yeah, 30 people, 30 reviews. That's a massive review bomb, I guess. Percentage-wise, because nobody's playing your stupid fucking games. Your garbage trash games that probably aren't even finished anyway. Because Thor is known to be the type of guy that doesn't finish games. Takes 10 years to finish a retro style game.
That are tuning in to hear about this drama and talk about what is going on. And you're telling me that from their own words, they saw 4. They're never giving a number. They're never giving a number about how many negative reviews there are because people went ahead and looked. And now here, Pirate is directly...
I can tell you who didn't look. Pirate Software's fans. They did not look. They just took it as face value, took their word for it.
Talking about the Steam page, and some people were saying, well, maybe they were review bombing on other platforms, things like that. Well, they're directly talking about the Steam page. I don't know about you guys. Maybe, I guess, he has a viciously different understanding or a different definition for what a mass review bomb is. But for me, it's not 4, it's not 10, it's not even like 30 across 3 separate games. And I'm being very generous with saying about 30. A mass review bombing is like what Helldivers went through, where there were tens of thousands of them. And I made the argument that he was misrepresenting the situation, that he was being untrue about the actual situation at.
That's funny. That's funny. He lies again, telling an untruth, being untrue. That seems to be a pattern with this guy. Don't take accountability, and whenever it comes out that I am actually wrong and lying, lie more! And whenever I cannot defend myself any longer, I just don't talk about it anymore. I move on, start talking about something else, and make everything much, much worse.
Stake when he's talking about this massive review bomb. People hear that, huge buzzword. That means a lot of people are being negative about it. No, a high school classroom of people left negative reviews. And from what I understand, people went in and checked them. Most of those negative reviews are talking about the video game. As a matter of fact, Steam will remove reviews that you put. I spoke with a few game developers. They will remove reviews that are not talking about the video game, and you can actually contact them and request to remove them and show why that they should be removed. And I hate to admit this, but I agree with Pirate. He should be stepping down from a game publishing company if he is a strategic director of said publishing company, if he is entirely against an initiative that is supporting consumer rights and the preservation of video games. He's spot on. That is a terrible look for a game company. He shouldn't be anywhere near it. Would you be more willing to purchase a game knowing that one of the head honchos is completely against this, that is completely against the idea of having a conversation about consumer rights? Probably not. Now, to close out on this clip that I'm showing you guys, he talks about Ross's video about the end of Stop Killing Games. When he was like down and out, he was doing a last-ditch effort, which thankfully has worked. Again, links in description for the petitions. We still need more signatures. We hit our goal.
Yep, I got a link down there in the description. You should definitely go sign up for it if you are in the EU and you haven't signed up yet.
We want to make sure that there aren't botted signatures, things like that. So please go ahead. If you know people, educate, let them know, get signatures. But he yet again misrepresents something coming from Ross, that being this video where he's saying that he spent that entire 33 minutes shitting on Pirate Software.
A statement came out yesterday not to public, not to harass. Or why was that not part of the half an hour long video?
Yeah, you know, the hour-long video with 33 minutes of it trying to say that I was a piece of shit. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, so on Tuesday I got swatted. I've gotten constant calls to my cell phone. I've had tens of thousands of death threats a day, including to the moderators. And
So what, is he's blaming Ross for all of this happening to him? Not himself for absolutely being wrong and crashing out? Like, still, I'm not defending the swatting. It's just like, you can't blame somebody who had nothing to do with it. It blows my fucking mind, bro. When none of this would be happening if you would have just kept your fucking mouth shut. And you're still talking about it. It's like he wants it to get worse. Maybe he's got a humiliation fetish. I don't know.
The rest of the team. People called the county trying to say that our rescue is an animal horde, so we had to deal with that. I've been called a pedophile, a zoophile, a rapist, a corporate plant, a degenerate, a narcissist, a nepo baby, and many.
Well, a few of those you actually are. Like a corporate plant and a nepo baby. Those two definitely.
Other names. And they also went after every job I ever held, trying to say I never worked there. And then when they found out I did, they tried to say I didn't deserve them.
Okay, first off, we know you worked at Blizzard for 7 years. Trust me, everybody knows. But joking aside,
Yeah, he's definitely gonna keep letting people know that he worked for Blizzard for 7 years. How long ago? How long ago was that? And he's still telling people, I worked at Blizzard, so I have authority over everybody. I am smarter than everybody here.
assessment of the video that Ross made about it being 33 minutes of just absolutely shitting on Pirate is just factually wrong. What he's talking about, he said, yeah, he compiled all of the times that I was being shitty, that I was being rude to him, which he apologized. He feels bad for being mean. And he compiled all of these into about a 15-second clip, which I'll show you now.
So this was my first encounter of him.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to. That is awful. That is a horrible goddamn direction. That's awful, dude. Now, eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive.
No, the level of stupid that I just had to receive, man. Come on.
Was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's an incredibly stupid ass move. I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely. I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
Oh, yeah. I can see why people like him.
All right, I was wrong. That clip was just short of a minute, so not 15 seconds. I completely blew it there. I'm sorry. Take notes, Thor. Now, outside of addressing Pirate saying things like this, he brings up a few other instances of Pirate disagreeing with him, also just showing his points of disagreeing with him where he gets things wrong. Outside of that, he takes these 33 minutes that Pirate is calling just shitting on him to completely point by point talk about the Stop Killing Games initiative and how Pirate has misrepresented it and that he's frustrated that that's caused an impact.
Well, actually, this whole Stop Killing Games movement was not created to stop killing games. It was actually created to make Pirate Software look bad and to call him an idiot and destroy his career. That's actually what SKG was built for.
Impact to the Stop Killing Games initiative. I'm not going to go over it point by point. I will leave a link to his video in the description. Jump to about 33 minutes. It's timestamped, and you can watch him and you can decide, is he being a dick about it? Is he being rude to Pirate Software, going over point by point and just explaining the Stop Killing Games initiative again and again? If this happened to me, if I got something this wrong and then someone spent half an hour the way that Ross did, I'd thank him, because this is the kindest way that he called out Pirate Software. 95% of the time spent
Yeah, the huge fucking pussy, by the way, didn't even want to show anything about it. Just wanted to talk about it. Just wanted to let his audience know, the people who didn't watch the Ross hate video against Pirate Software, they didn't watch it. They're just listening to what Pirate Software has to say about it. And they believe him. It's just a hate campaign. This whole thing was fabricated to be against Pirate Software. To take them down, to make them look bad.
in this is just him going through your points. But yeah, the guy's frustrated. You were also rude to him. Like, duh, he's gonna...
Like, if somebody made a video calling me out and it was 33 minutes long, you know what I'd do? I'd react to it and talk about it. And if I'm wrong about something, I'll let you know. If you're wrong about something, I'll let you know. But I'm not going to be a complete piece of shit about it.
He's going to be a little upset back, which is why he included that minute of what Pirate has said. It's just, again, Pirate misrepresenting very clearly. And I'm not going to speak on the intention of it, but maybe he feels like that was all an attack to him. I know plenty of people that are pretty immature. And if I...
Well, of course he felt like it was an attack on him. He felt like the whole thing was an attack on him because he's a corpo freak. And it goes against everything that corpos want. Because it forces them to do more work and take less money. And they don't like that.
I try to have a conversation with them and disagree with them on a point, they take it personally. And it just seems like Pirate's kind of doing the same. I'm not going to go for him maliciously misconstruing it or anything. It could just be he's being really immature about it, and that's fine.
Yeah, he was being really immature, and then he got malicious about it because he wanted to triple down and not take accountability. That's when it gets malicious. When it gets malicious is when he's like, all right, I'm done talking about this. You guys swatted me. You guys, all of you who are fans of Ross, including Ross, it is your fault that I got swatted. So I'm going to not talk about it. You're all pieces of garbage. Except I'm going to keep talking about it. I was lying.
He's just wrong, so we're going to talk about it. But now to close this video off, let's jump into his most recent tweets that came out about yesterday now. Pirate Software drops this absolute banging tweet that's going to shift the tides of understanding of this. He says, the most interesting narrative is that my videos somehow killed the initiative. This graph shows that the initiative already had a downward trend in interest when my videos dropped. My videos do not seem to have had any impact on the movement at all. Making me the villain did, though. Best of luck with your next steps. And so he shows this, and you can see the daily...
So he's actually taking credit for all of this. I mean, sure, why not? He actually admits that he's a villain. And he is. He is a garbage piece of shit, and nobody likes him, and he's a liar, and he misconstrues everything. And then he doubles and triples down because he doesn't like to be wrong. He can't be wrong. He's the smartest person alive!
Daily signature amount over time here, which is showing a negative downward trend. You can see where Pirate put out his video. Now, I was up at 2 a.m. last night, saw this come out, was chatting with a few people, and I was like, hey, let me figure out where I can find this graph, because I want to see the exact day of when Pirate dropped his video. So I ended up finding a website to show me the initial performance of his first video, Stop Killing Games. It came out on August 6th. And you can see here that in those first, let's do 14 days here. Those first 14 days, or 15 days here, 902,000 views. So that goes from August 6th to August 20th. Okay. So I then found a chart to help me see the average view signatures, so the cumulative signatures and the daily signature change for the Stop Killing Games initiative. And it's hard to see, but this here is August 5th and August 6th here. August 6th, you can see here. So the 5th, the day before it, it jumps up 23,000 signatures a day. And then August 6th hits, and then you can see a downward trend. And you can see it leading down. And then even if we go out, you know, those...
Yeah, so he's lying again, trying to save his ass, and it's not going to work. Because we can all see what happened. It's all there. I don't know, like, he's just pulling all this out of his ass. But the numbers are there, the graphs are there, we can all see it, everything gets tracked. He thinks we're all stupid except for him. But it turns out, haha, funny thing, he's the stupid one.
those 15 days or even 10 days here, we can see it goes down to 3,000 a day. So using this graph, I could make the argument that, yeah, after Pirate posted his video, we see it go from 23,000 the day before to 14,000. And it stays going on that downward trend from when he put out his video. Now, I feel like that's just kind of being a bit petty because, like, realistically, you can't really draw that kind of correlation with a graph like that.
We can't and he can't. There was no point to bring that up. And he just pulled that information out of his ass anyway. He doesn't know. He was just saying shit.
It's easy to, but with a movement this big, it's hard to make sense of those factors. But after Pirate put out his video, a lot of people, including myself initially, because I wasn't super deep into this, I was covering Mr. Beast stuff, kind of just stopped taking interest in it because there was conflicting views on it. And at that point, even if it's like 50-50 or there's a lot of that friction, I'm not going to do the research, and I think most people aren't going to do the research, and Pirate was very well liked at this point. People are going to stop kind of looking into it. There were a lot of people that were, disagreeing with him, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but even with just that bit of friction, it was enough to completely have me lose interest in looking into the movement. So I didn't even cover it at the time. And I just don't believe it's a stretch to believe that Pirate Software had a pretty sizable impact on the Stop Killing Games initiative. Admittedly, I'm getting a bit theoretical here. I think Pirate's kind of doing the same, but I'm just not buying that this is just proof that he didn't have an impact on it. And for the icing on top of this turd cake, he ends up also replying to it and saying, and for those that don't understand why I put out the videos in the...
I actually don't care whether or not he had an impact on it or not. Like, what I care about is that he is on the internet causing drama and trying to be the smartest man alive, and he's not. And he keeps crashing out and lying about it and saying that he's going to stop talking about it, and he keeps talking about it. And that's just what we do here. We make fun of retards who are being retarded. Honestly, I don't even care what Pirate Software has to say about Stop Killing Games. I've been on board with it since it fucking started. I reacted to Pirate Software's reaction to this way back when. He didn't have to say anything.
In the first place, you might want to give this a read.
Like, it's funny. He says, well, it was already on a downward trend. If it was on a downward trend, then why did you care? If you thought it was going to fail, why did you care to talk about it? Because you wanted to kill it even more. So it's like the whole thing smells like shit.
Read. So this is a blog from Daniel. I'm not too sure who Daniel is, admittedly, and he's pretty much breaking down why the Stop Killing Games initiative sucks. And admittedly, I haven't fully read through this yet. I'll probably do more, might do a stream covering it. But when I was glancing over it again, like 2 a.m. last night before I'm heading to bed, I ran into seeing this free to play the cherry on top. I'm gonna just read you a few parts of this here. The fact that the movement also wants to extend itself to free to play games is also egregious. People do not pay for these games, and microtransactions do not constitute ownership of some license to own the game in perpetuity. And he talks about the...
We still shouldn't be shutting games down for nobody to be able to play ever again, and it's just gone. Like, you're fucking stupid. We want to be able to play all the games forever. We don't want things to just disappear and then be forgotten about and never be able to access again. Very, very bad. Especially when more and more games and movies and shows and all these things that these corporations keep killing because they don't make them any more money, so they just be gone with them. That needs to stop fucking happening. There are a bunch of free-to-play games that I really wish that I could go back and play. Even some of the garbage ones. But I can't. Because they're gone.
EU Consumer Protection Cooperation Network has already published principles requiring clear and transparent pricing. This is something that was happening a few months ago, not really relevant to what we're talking about here. And then he finishes it off with, but SKG wants to extend preservation requirements to games people got for free. The entitlement is staggering. In typical pirate fashion, this is misrepresenting what the initiative is asking for. Now, he does touch on it a little bit. I'll give him credit. He does talk about the microtransactions do not mean that you have a license to the game in perpetuity, but that's what the fact kind of explains. In the FAQ, isn't it unreasonable to ask this of free-to-play games? The answer is, while free-to-play games are free for users to try, they're supported by microtransactions, which customers spend money on. When a publisher ends a free-to-play game without providing any recourse to the players, they are effectively robbing those that bought features for the game. Hence, they should be accountable to making the game playable in some fashion once support ends.
Or give everybody their money back for all the things that they bought and wasted money on that they don't get to keep because it's all gone. And like, I think that whenever you sunset a game and they've got microtransactions, you should release all of the microtransactions and make them in the game. Implement them into the game. And everybody just be able to have all of them.
Our proposed regulations would have no impact on non-commercial games that are 100% free, however. So right off the bat, no, it is not asking this for entirely free-to-play games, but to talk about microtransactions, you have purchased a good, and to take away that good at the end of it isn't okay. And Daniel's right.
I think that free-to-play games should be left open, like left up, at least playable, the same way all the other games are. I think it's bad. I really like free-to-play games, even if they don't have any kind of monetization in them. They're just straight up free-to-play. I don't want them to be gone either. Maybe there shouldn't be laws around it, but there definitely should be like a cultural shift to where people want to leave these things up.
You know, you don't actually, as of right now, when you buy microtransactions, you don't have a license to play that game in perpetuity. But the initiative doesn't like that, and they think that if you're able to purchase in-game goods, you should still be entitled to use those and not have that good taken away from you. Similar to the fact that if you purchase a video game, you should not have that video game taken away from you because the developers are just done supporting it. I think that's reasonable. Matter of fact, it's getting the foot in the door. So there could be more conversations about this if you disagree with it. But Pirate Software is not interested in having this discussion with Ross. So maybe I guess there is no wiggle room there. Maybe we're just gonna have to figure that out when it does, you know, go forward. Hopefully as long as we get enough signatures. So I guess to close this out, it's frustrating because Pirate is quickly turning to, and it to some degree, I don't blame him because of the death threats and the swatting, that people hate him because of who he is, rather than his inability to walk back misrepresentations or just...
Well, to be fair, I mean, a lot of people do hate him. I don't hate him. I think he's a giant garbage piece of shit, but I don't hate him. I hope that he can turn it around and that he can stop lying, he can stop doubling and tripling down on stuff that just doesn't make any fucking sense just for him to be the smartest man alive. I'm right about everything. I can never do no wrong. Get that shit out of here, man. Until that day comes, I'm still just going to make fun of retards, and he is one of the retards that we are making fun of here. And once again, I say like, comment, and subscribe if you like this content. If you like me making fun of retards.
Straight up lying about things. He's got too much of an ego to ever walk those things back. And I'm just kind of mind blown that I get to make a video today talking about all of these things, where even in a tweet where, you know, I guess people smarter than me that can look at graphs and understand that better could say, yeah, there actually wasn't a change and we could have a discussion about that. But to follow that tweet up with an article that even just from a skim is misrepresenting a point of the initiative, I'm baffled. Like, why don't you like check that? Or why isn't he able to move past the perspective that he's had, which has been point for point debunked or like clarified? Why he can't just take some of it in and change a little bit? But we already know that answer. He doesn't want to. He's dug in. He's not interested. And in tandem with this swatting and the death threats that he's receiving, his victim complex about this entire thing has just been completely vindicated for him. Honestly,
I just like everybody to know what kind of person that Pirate Software is. I was part of his community for a little while. His community is full of a bunch of gay furries. He is a gay furry himself. A bunch of leftist freaks. They pretend that they're not because they like to say that they're not political, they're apolitical. But if you are of a certain mindset, not even a political person, you are deemed on the other side. You are deemed a right-wing extremist. So tell me how political you aren't whenever you say that everybody that's not on your side is a right-wing extremist. Just like the rest of the leftist freaks. Can't take accountability, lies all the time, triples down on stuff that's fucking stupid to triple down on, having the wrong opinion on literally fucking everything every single time. So fucking stupid, man. Agenda-based, political-brained, identity politics nonsense.